Let's grow some weed, let's grow some bud, let's chop it down and bag it up. Let it cure now, it's time to blaze for sure. Budroom Banter.
Welcome to Budroom Banter. I'm Philly Modeling with Lucky Strains. I got my buddy Alex here with Kush Effect. Yeah, and he's going to be showing us and talking to us about light intensity today. We're going to test the light intensity. We're going to put in new lights to make it better. Really, I've been growing for a long time basic, real basic, light, water, some nutrients and food, good environment, that you can control, but I want to grow better. So now I'm going to get people from the industry to come into my bud room and show me how to grow better. And I'm on a budget, right? So we're going to add little things at a time, not just going to do it all at once. And I'll show you that you can grow on a budget. That's what it's about, trying to help average folks learn how to grow on a budget. And this is my personal bud room. Nothing is for sale, right? And so what do you think so far when you came in? I know there's things we can add. We'll keep it to just a couple things right now.
I mean, right off the bat, I'm not a big fan of the blurple lights, as I call them. You get that blue purple effect. Kind of makes everything look weird. Tough to see what's going on with your plants and really see the color of them unless you get a different light in here and turn them off. So just from a standpoint, looking back at your plants, it's a little tougher to watch your plants under this light, in my opinion.
This is Midnight Gleazy.
This is
ready to harvest. Alex actually gave me this as a clone. It was like this big.
Yeah. And I guess I would start off with the question is how tall was this when you flowered it?
How tall was it when I flowered it? So I want to say it was probably 36 inches. It was probably 3 feet, and now, I could get a tape. We got to be looking at, it's got to be 4 feet now.
Yeah,
maybe 5 feet.
4.5 feet.
4.5 feet.
So we're seeing a lot of space between the nodes.
Yeah, it's reaching for the light, right?
It's reaching
These
for the light
leaves,
here.
you can see they're all reaching like, come on.
Everything's just kind of stretching, looking for more intense light. Maybe it's missing a spectrum, and you might have that intensity here with these lights. But I think the lack of full spectrum is really going to make plants stretch a little bit more. Mm-hmm. That may not be the case for all blurple lights. There may be higher quality blurple lights that work a little bit better.
Yeah,
but the node spacing is not exactly desirable here. And we do have some decent buds. They're dense, but they're spaced out. We don't have anything really stacking on here. Even up at the cola, we're not getting too much stacking. It's kind of single bud sites that are just growing on their own. So increasing that light intensity is going to help keep those plants kind of more swatty and bushy, and at that point you can start introducing training as well and start growing them outwards instead of upwards.
Right.
And start maximizing your bud sites and your yields. And
I think this plant was maybe topped once, maybe not. I might have just grown it straight up.
Yeah, I don't see any.
I usually top it, but she came big from you, healthy, and I just feel like I want to grow it. I want this Midnight Gleazy now, and here we are. She's stretched out. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's all good though, because we're gonna keep on. The next batch we got coming, some more frozen headbands gonna come in here next with some lights that we add, and we're gonna show the difference. And we're gonna show the difference with the meter right now.
Yeah.
So let's do that. We got a, what is it called?
We have there's a par meter. You have a couple different options for how you want to do this. The most budget friendly, there's an app on your phone called Photone. If you have an iPhone, you have to stick like a little piece of paper over your front facing camera. I've used like a post-it note, just cut a little corner off of it and stick it right over the camera. It works really good. And that allows you to just hold your phone under your light, and it's going to give you a good ballpark. It's not going to be exact. It's not going to be as precise as an Apogee meter, which is going to run you a couple $100. The option I went for, I wanted to be a little more precise than my phone, but I didn't want to spend hundreds of dollars on an actual meter. As I just went with one of these cheaper Bluetooth meters. I found this on Amazon for like 40 or 50 bucks.
Nice.
Takes a single AAA battery and it Bluetooths to my phone.
Yeah,
and
nice.
Gets me what I
Show
need.
that up to them.
And
cool. So this is a par meter.
It's a par meter. It gets me the information that I'm looking for. You know, seeing that I'm getting all three of my spectrums and getting an idea of my light intensity.
I'll try to put a link to that in the description.
Yeah, well, we'll give you a link to that one. I'm sure there's other versions of it out there that are similar too. So let me open up
Good to have
the
a
app
starting
here.
point. I'm cutting off all the big fan leaves, the sugar leaves, as we're going to harvest this grow. And I like to cut most of it off when it's on here. It's easier.
Right.
It's not all dried up and
A little easier to work with.
yeah, hard to get at.
So the app here is called V-Sensor. And it's actually a pretty cool app. So you've got an option to do a par meter or a par collector. So if you're looking at the lights on Amazon or even any light manufacturer's website, they'll always put a par map up on there, which just kind of shows you the light intensities at different heights of the light. You can verify that with this and actually put it in each corner of your tent and kind of do a grid and build your own par map.
Nice.
But I usually just use the par meter. It's going to give me a good idea of what kind of light we're sitting at.
Yeah.
So, you know, take for instance this top little cola of this branch right here. We're only getting about 200 par. Now that's pretty low for inflowering. That's sitting out about 2 feet under the light here. Now if we bring it up a little bit higher, where you're getting your top nugs here are sitting at about 600 par. So there's a huge difference in your light intensity in just this single foot here.
Yeah.
Which may be a result of the light itself or just something where we want to start focusing on evening out our canopy a little bit too.
That makes total sense. All right, so then what we're going to do is we can put in the light Alex brought, which is full spectrum light. What is that?
Yeah, so we just brought over kind of a budget friendly Vivo sunlight.
We love budget friendly.
It's a 200 watt wing light.
Yeah.
Full spectrum.
I've seen these on the Vivo Sun.
It's got a built-in fan in it too, which is really cool. So it's going to help kind of recirculate some heat and temperature around your tent.
Yeah. Okay.
And also just give a nice gentle breeze to the top of your plant as well to help them kind of have that structure built up.
Amazing. And we can put that in with these, might as well, because it'll be just added extra light. And
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Just add it to the mix.
we're trying to create the sun, right?
Yeah. We want to these plants aren't, they're not supposed to grow inside. But we do because it's a controlled environment and we can get a higher quality product. But there's hurdles that we have to overcome, which is doing our best to recreate the sun and the temperatures and humidities that the plants like.
Yeah, especially in Minnesota.
Especially in Minnesota.
It goes from 70 to 30 to -0, whatever,
and 90% humidity to 10% humidity in the winter. It's we have a lot of factors that we're fighting against. So when we're doing our indoor stuff, it's important to pay attention to those things.
That's right. Speaking of -0, which doesn't exist, but Sub-Zero exists.
Sub-Zero
We did
exists.
just have some Sub-Zero, and I'm feeling that. Sub-Zero that's tasty.
It's a tasty one, yeah.
That was the more fruity.
Yeah, that was more of a fruity,
I gotta learn
smoke.
my aromas more and learn all the good detailed functions and aromas. I love that. I love the also the terpenes. I want to learn as much as I can as we move towards licensing and all this great stuff that comes with the flower. But now we're gonna put up this light.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Take a break.
Let's grow some weed. Let's grow some bud. Let's chop it down and bag it up. Bag it up. Let it cure now. It's time to blaze for sure. Budroom Banter. Let's grow some weed. Let's grow some bud. Let's chop it down and then bag it up. Let it cure now. It's time to blaze for sure. Budroom Banter. Let's grow some weed.
Last off. Oh. That seems like quite a difference.
It's a big difference.
That's a big difference. It's not blurple. I'll tell you that much.
It looks green right now because my eyes are so adjusted to that blurple light.
This is what we wanted to do.
But now we can see the plant. We can see the discoloration on the tips of the leaves, which isn't horrible.
But what is that? Something that comes from lack of nutrients?
I mean, towards the end of flowering, you're going to expect some fade and lack of nutrients in your plant, especially if you're flushing. And I know you said that you were flushing for a while here, so yeah, you're definitely seeing some.
Well, maybe the last week.
Some like nutrient deficiencies in your leaves that are kind of showing up. But maybe you've had this for a while and you didn't notice it because of the lighting. I mean, it's really tough to see the color variation in your plant when you're under that kind of weird lighting.
Yes. I mean, what a huge difference. So make sure that it's full spectrum lighting.
See a lot of red in the stems here. It's a good indicator of like a magnesium deficiency or a calcium deficiency too.
I see.
Do you use CalMag?
Nope. There we go.
I would recommend using some CalMag in your nutrient line.
No, right now it's just the simple Fox Farm Grow Big and the Fox Farm Big Bloom.
Big Bloom and Grow Big. All right, yeah.
I kept it simple to start. I wanted to learn from the basics, and like I say, now we're going to grow better. We're
Absolutely.
going to grow bigger, and I appreciate you being here because we're gonna keep this going. This is Budroom Banter. We got an event to tell you about coming up too. Kush Effect has us on. Our buddy Fredo is hosting. It is the Easter Spring Sipper, and most of our flower-loving friends know that 420 is on Easter this year. So we got 420 on Easter. We got the Easter Spring Sipper, which is a sampling event, free event, hosted by Kush Effect and sponsored by Kush Effect and Lucky Strains. It's gonna be fun. You know, it's obviously 21 plus, but come and taste everything, right? I mean, there's so many Minnesota vendors there. It's awesome. There's like 20 vendors.
We're over 20 now. I think it's
over 20,
22 or 23 vendors that'll be on site.
We're gonna be squished in there.
A lot of them are local vendors. We've got some bigger vendors on site too. A little something for everyone. It's going to be, gummies of all flavors, drinks of all flavors.
Yeah.
Some carbonated, some not.
That's right. I mean, everybody's going to be there in aspect to the Twin Cities big brands, like Retro Bakery and Doc Dabs and Crooked, and you also see Cookies will be there, right? Steezy will be there.
Steezy, Crested River will be there.
Crested River is definitely there. Who else? Think another one on there. There's a lot.
Simple, Squoze.
Yeah.
Botanical Farms, I think it was, or Botany Farms.
Yep. I see Natrium's on there too.
Natrium. Yep. Yeah, I mean,
it's gonna be a good time.
The list is long.
It now starts at noon, right? Remember now. I know it's like a 2.5 hour thing.
2 p.m. and I believe it ends at 4:20.
Oh, 2 to 4:20. That's it. Starts at 2.
We'll get you out for your smoke break.
Yeah, there we
Hopefully.
go. Yep. On Robert Street in West St. Paul, the MGM.
Yeah.
Free samples, tasting event, extravaganza.
21 plus.
Yep. We'll be there for sure. And come back and see what happens on the next Budroom Banters when I'm gonna get some CalMag, right?
Yeah. Well, let's put some CalMag in the mix here. Yeah. We got full spectrum coming in.
Let's do the last part, which is the light. Just remember the light meter. We're gonna see how much difference.
We gotta see what kind of a difference.
So we went from 200 and 600, right? Now we're gonna see how much the difference is.
We were at 200 at this bud site here, right? Now we are sitting at 346.
All right.
Not only that, now we have some green in the mix.
That's a good ad.
With a lot of red spectrum going on.
Yeah, before the green was almost non-existent.
Yeah, the green was.
That's probably why now
in,
everything is so green.
in the single digits. So now we get up, I believe we measured about here at the top of this bud here. I didn't want to go straight up to the top. Now we are sitting at a very ideal 742. In late flower, I believe that you're going to get the best bud production and growth and structure out of the 7 to 1,000 range.
7 to 1,000.
So yeah, this is at about 12 inches away from the light here, and this puts us at just a hair over. We're getting up to almost 1,000 actually right here, directly under the light. Not
oh,
sitting,
we're gonna see a difference.
not sitting off to the side here, but directly under the light. We are sitting close to 1,000. So
what do you bet that next batch of frozen headband does?
I think on that.
Things.
I think your next batch of frozen headband, you're going to be pleasantly surprised with your bud production and your yield. I think we can increase your yield.
Yeah, and I'm going to get something tested. I just had a harvest. You can see behind.
Yeah,
we got lava cake and a frozen headband. I'm going to get some tested, and we're going to see as well what kind of THC production and possibly different terpenes depending on the test.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, so once again, I'm Philly with Lucky Strains. This is Alex with Kush Effect, and this has been Budroom Banter.
Budroom Banter. We're getting better at growing.